You've probably noticed it feels harder than ever to meet women in real life. Work's remote, friends are off getting married, and then social events, well, they're empty. So you go in search of connection on dating apps, only to end up endlessly swiping and getting no matches. But what if I told you there is still a way to meet women in the real life, in the real world, away from the production assembly line of dating apps? And how, I hear you ask? Well, it comes down to the simple skill of approach, the ability to see a woman, go over, have a conversation, and take her on a date. And before I take you through my framework of the 3 Ps that allow you to do this, I want to address that part of your brain, that one that lit up questioning, well, is that really possible? I don't really see many people do that. Can you really do that in the modern day? Well, a long time ago, my head had the same question. I was struggling in dating. I didn't know how to meet women. Dating apps were absolutely useless to me. But I went on the internet, I went on YouTube, and I looked at these videos talking about this idea of being able to approach, walk up, meet women, engage with them. I was like, could that possibly work? And I found out, yes. I was able to then go out, and I've done hundreds of approaches. I've met women from all around the world, gone on dates with them, and even the girl who is my current girlfriend today, I met through approach. I met her by doing the exact things I'm about to walk you through. And even on top of that, I've now helped guys from all over the world go out and do exactly the same, meet women, engage with them, all in the real world, away from dating apps. So let's talk through exactly how to do that and go through the 3 Ps. And the first one is proximity. And what does that mean? That means putting you in a position to win, putting you somewhere where you are actually surrounded by women. Because one of the biggest mistakes men make is like, okay, I'm going to go do approaching, and then just go to an area like in their small town they're from where there's no women. And it's like, oh, well, I walked around for 2 hours and I didn't see anyone. It's like, yeah, don't do that. So for me, when I was sort of like kicked out of Bulgaria, I'd come back to the UK. I was in this small town, but I wanted to meet somebody. So I was like, okay, well, I know what to do here. Got in the car, I drove like 30 minutes to the nearest city and just went out in their core city centre approaching. And what do you know? The second girl I speak to that day ends up being my girlfriend. I walk over, I introduce myself. But it's only because I put myself in a position to win. I put myself around like women where there are people there on high streets. If you're in the US, then you kind of need to go to tourist hotspots. Some cities work for you, but some are, if you're a bit more rural, you're kind of like Houston, Texas types, you've got to be a bit more tactical. But first and foremost, we need to pick the right spot. We don't need to just send ourselves out to waste our time and get hurt. It's genuinely worth it to you to drive 2 hours to go to a city so you can speak to 15 women in an hour or 2 hours rather than one in 3 hours. I have a guy this week who's driving to Toronto or catching the train, I think. He's catching the train to Toronto because it's just so much better than where he already is. Okay? So that's our first P, proximity. We need to put ourselves in proximity to be able to meet women, to engage with them. You lucky people, if, like me currently, you live in a city centre, then you can step outside. The next P, presentation. This one is so important, guys, right? Because she doesn't know who you are. She only knows what she sees. So she doesn't know how funny you are, how intelligent you are, how good you are at making pancakes. None of that she can tell. But she does know immediately just what she sees, and she's trying to extrapolate from that. So if we go over there and we're not presenting ourselves very well, like our clothes are old, they don't really fit well, they're a bit messy, like we've got a haircut that doesn't suit us, like we're either like our beard's a mess or we're just completely clean shaven baby face when we don't need to be. all of these things really matter. And you don't need to be some like 10 out of 10 Chad to be able to approach. It's just not necessary because women don't really look for that. They're more interested in the cues of how you look after yourself. Are you someone that dresses well and presents himself well? The skill of doing that is more attractive to a woman than a guy that was just given it by genetics. So I've got a bunch of videos and I'll link them below of things that you can do, but I'll give you a very quick snapshot of easy quick wins, right? 1, we need simple clothes, so no big brands, nothing just smeared all over. Simple clothes that fit well, that have contrast, okay? I'll probably pop up on screen some examples for you, but they're the 3 things that we really want to hit. That sense of simple, clean clothes that fit well, because fit is more important than brands and whatever. And what did I just say? Fit well with contrast, okay? Because contrast draws the eye, it's attractive, and that's why, like, if I just wore all beige clothing with my like beige skin, I'd just look like a toothpaste tube, I'd look like a blob. It's not interesting to the eye, it doesn't draw it, but because I'm white as day and I wear black, you see all these contrast points and it's really attractive. I often get guys to just buy a dark pair of jeans and a white t-shirt or a black t-shirt, and then maybe a couple of pieces of jewelry. So they're your quick presentation tips, and it matters. It's nothing to do with how attractive your facial structure is of when you were born. Yeah, that helps, but it's not vital. How you present is so much more key to expressing who you are. And then finally, the final P. So we've got proximity, we've got presentation, and now we have polite introduction. Going over and approaching feels scary to guys. They're wondering, oh my God, am I going to be rude and interrupt? It's none of that. And it's actually way easier and way more simple than you think it is. Because the way that I will go up and approach a girl, it's simple and polite. And it's basically the same way that you would ask someone for directions. I'm going to walk over there and just be like, hi, excuse me. I thought you looked really awesome today. I wanted to introduce myself. Hey, I thought that was a really cool backpack. I wanted to say hi. Like, I'm going with such simple, polite language because that avoids any situations where it could be difficult for her, problems arise of just like, oh, you look freaking hot, babe, what an ass. Like, ridiculous. Why would I go do that? It's just causing problems. Instead, it's being polite and gentlemanly of just like, hi, excuse me. I just wanted to come over because I thought you had some really cool shoes. I wanted to say hi. And I know that seems simple, like, no, that can't work. But that's how I met my girlfriend. I walked over, I stopped her, I was like, hi, excuse me. I just want to say I thought your outfit looked awesome. And then we did a name exchange and we just ended up going on an instant date to a coffee shop, and we've been dating for 18 months since. That is truly how simple it is. And you can do this too. And if you want to know that 4-step framework that I give to my clients to make it so simple to do that polite introduction, well, check out this video up here, because now you've seen it. The 3 Ps to be able to walk over, approach, meet women in real life. Well, now take that framework and get out there, because you can meet them without dating apps.